If you can't beat them, join them. I'm man enough to admit everything's working out for TNA as they land a new TV deal with AMC. A lot of stuff to talk about. Let's get to it. See you in a second.
Uh-oh.
Yes, boy!
French toast is the exchange student that you have like a 3-week affair with.
Hey, we can see that you don't have pants on.
Somebody hit somebody with a pie. Do something.
Giovanni yelling we're out of time as we go off the air.
Giovanni yelling a lot of things tonight.
And welcome to the Mark It Down podcast.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Mark It Down podcast. I am James Gisanti. It is Thursday night, so you know what that means. We are in the Gym-Packed Zone, where we cover all things TNA and Impact. Guys, look, I've been very vocal about a lot of my criticisms, a lot of my displeasure with this company that I love. I love TNA. I love those letters. I love what this company was. I love what this company could be. I just haven't been crazy about where this company's been lately. I haven't been a huge fan of the TNA WWE partnership. Let's call it what it is, the TNA NXT partnership. But overall, you got to open your eyes at some point and realize we're winning. We're winning. TNA announced just 2 days ago, officially, a new TV deal with AMC. This is a gigantic move for them. This is a major network that is carrying them, not only on their TV network, but on their streaming service as well. This is a huge, huge move. Now, I'm not super familiar with the reach that AMC has, especially in comparison to some of TNA's past homes. I know that they probably had less reach than, say, Spike TV did back in the heyday, but way more than what they've been on Access TV or when they were on Pop TV. This is a huge, huge step in the right direction. And I don't want to go as far as to make any proclamations. I don't want to say, well, TNA is about to become the number 2 company in North America. I think we're a long way away from that ever being a reality again. But the positive, the great way of looking at this is that there is interest in TNA. TNA is about to get a big influx of money through this TV deal. It's going to open up a lot of opportunities for TNA. And then more importantly, it's going to open up a lot of opportunities for the wrestlers in TNA. Say what you will, whether or not TNA is going to be a feeder system for WWE. In some ways, they always were. It's just now it feels a lot more official. Now it feels a lot more transparent. And if that's what TNA wants to be, that's fine. That's TNA's prerogative. There is so much talent in TNA to watch and enjoy, highlighted by the video that Impact started with tonight, as they had a very well-made vignette as some of the top stars in TNA, Moose, Eddie Edwards, the system in general, the Hardys, Eric Young, Frankie Kazarian, Leon Slater, Lei Ying Lee. I kind of wish they highlighted a few more of the knockouts, but let's be realistic. The knockouts division is not as packed as it once was, but seeing them all in this vignette hyping up the AMC deal, which starts, by the way, we will see them, we will see Impact, Thursday Night Impact, as it's now going to be known, starting January 15th. This is a big, big deal. We're going to have a fun time talking about it when we get to it. But yeah, I haven't been thrilled with a lot of the booking. I'm going to choose to be positive. I'm going to choose to overlook it and move towards just the happy thoughts of all the good things that TNA could accomplish with this TV deal. I don't know if the length of the deal has been disclosed or even how much TNA is making off of the deal. I'm sure that information will come out as time moves on and we learn more. But again, happy for TNA. Happy for the stars of TNA. Great way to start 2026 with this new TV deal. So bravo to everyone who's worked hard to make this happen. And let's acknowledge, as much as it pains me to, realistically, this deal probably only became possible because of their partnership with WWE. The renewed interest that this partnership with WWE created, the connection to WWE that is probably appealing to AMC, the idea of maybe having some WWE stars show up on TNA TV. These are all things that are very interesting and very promising. So keep up the good work. I'm going to continue here every Thursday, most Thursdays, for the Gym Pack Zone, and we're just going to really have a great time. All right? So keep an open mind. I'm doing my best too, but no matter what, this is great news. So bravo. Let's get into the show itself. Like I said, we started with that great vignette, that great video package setting up the AMC deal. And interesting who they highlighted, like I said, but not surprising. But hopefully that Steve Macklin, of course, was another. Let's hope this means that everybody that was highlighted is going to be with TNA for the long haul. I really don't want to see. Nope, not even going to get into the negative. Just really excited to see TNA's journey moving forward. But back into the program, back into the realities of what TNA Impact has to offer this fine Thursday. We are still dealing with the ramifications of NXT's invasion. They're being welcomed into the Impact Zone, being welcomed by Santino Marella. If you can't fight them off, if you can't hold them at the gate, let them in. So we saw our first of the night TNA versus NXT match as the hometown man took on Brooks Jensen. The match itself was fine. Brooks Jensen, the son of Bull Buchanan. So that's a fun little tidbit there, something I learned. The match itself was fine, a standard, warm-up match, I guess, to get the crowd really going into it. Hometown man getting the upper hand at the very end, only to unfortunately get walloped by Lexis King, an interfering Lexis King, hitting him with his cane while the referee is distracted, allowing Brooks Jensen to hit him with a running heel kick, getting the 1-2-3. I thought it was fine. If no disrespect to the hometown man, who I love, but I get that this was the win for NXT. Or a win for NXT, as we're going to talk about a little bit more later. But moving on, we go backstage. We go into the treehouse with the Rascals, all four Rascals, as Trey Miguel, Zachary Wentz, Myron Reed are joined by Desmond Xavier. Yep, Desmond Xavier. If I seemed a little confused talking about the name, it's because Trey Miguel is very confused and frightened. As they're sitting down in the treehouse, he calls Zachary Wentz on the cell phone saying, "Who is this guy sitting next to me?" There is some confusion, or at least on some of the guys' parts, as they say that the last time they saw him, he was really rude to them, kicking Zachary Wentz in the wiener a few times, beating them up. And Desmond says, "That wasn't me. That was some guy named Wesley. I don't know who he is," but it was a fun bit of acknowledging their NXT TNA story, acknowledging the fact that there was some animosity when he was when he was Wesley, but all are on the same page now. All are good guys, all are buddies, and all still light them up. I'm really excited about this prospect with this team. I think the money, I really don't know, because you have 4 talented guys who could each go on their own. But I think the money is Wentz and Desmond teaming up, being the tag team. Trey Miguel maybe pushing him towards main event, and Myron Reed in the X division. I don't know, but very exciting to see that there are so many possibilities with these guys. They're funny, they're athletic, they have good looks, they're exciting. This is a unit that if I'm TNA, I'm really looking to push forward hard into the new year with this deal with AMC. Put them at the forefront. Put them right next to Leon Slater, right next to Steve Macklin, right next to the Hardys. These are guys that should be front and center. So good work from these guys always when they're in the treehouse. We then go to the ring as the Inspiration, the Knockouts Tag Team Champions, acknowledge that, they are the champs and they're ready for a fight and they're ready to take on all challengers when they are interrupted by Tessa Blanchard and Victoria Crawford. Tessa says that now that she's cleared to compete, she's ready to take those titles along with Victoria Crawford. She, of course, ridicules Jesse and Cassie, saying that she gets them confused. And the only reason they didn't walk out with the gold at Turning Point was because she wasn't medically cleared at the time. As they're getting ready to make their way into the ring, the Inspiration are blindsided by Mila Moore, who took Tessa Blanchard's spot in the tag match due to injury, and it seems now she's just going to be with this group. Tessa stays on the outside as Mila and Victoria are working over the Inspiration in the ring. Eventually, the Inspiration get the upper hand, dropping both of them, sending them flying, and all 3 of the baddies make their way up the ramp and escape the Inspiration. I'm terrified of this. I'm terrified of them losing to Tessa and Victoria. Nah. But I will say, very happy that the Inspiration are getting more mic time. That's where they thrive. That's where we need to see them more. And I'm really hoping they get more and more. That way the crowd could really start to warm up to them again. We then go backstage as we have Santino Marella, the director of authority for TNA, hyping up his boys, hyping up Team TNA for the main event as the Hardys, Steve Macklin, and Cedric Alexander are getting a fun pep talk from the locker room leader, Santino Marella. We then go back to the ring as we have a knockouts match as Danny Luna takes on Zaya Brookside. I didn't put it in the header. That's my bad. The banner is incomplete. This was a #1 contenders match for the Knockouts World Championship, which is now in the possession of Lei Ying Lee. Lei Ying Lee having taken the Knockouts title from Kalani Jordan at NXT. This is kind of what I've been talking about, guys. Anytime TNA gets a big win over NXT, there's some combination, one of the two, where either it's somebody who's been in WWE before, or it's going to happen on WWE TV. All these major title changes, all these major moments are happening because of WWE people. And look, Lei Ying Lee has been killing it in TNA. She's been working her butt off. She deserves this title. I'm very happy for her. It's a big moment for TNA. Their first Chinese TNA champion of any kind. Very big deal. And she's absolutely earned it. But it feels like WWE knows how to control this situation. And I don't super love that. But staying positive. This matchup was very fun. This was a good back and forth between the aggressive, bigger, more powerful Danny Luna and the scrappy Zaya Brookside. Zaya, who is Lei Ying Lee's tag team partner in the Angel Warriors. I don't know what is going on with all of these wrestling companies and these tag team names for the women. The ending coming as Danny Luna was looking to recreate what she did to Indy Hartwell, going under the ring, grabbing a steel chain, and going to attack Xia Brookside, but she is interrupted by Indy Hartwell, who sends her flying back into the ring and allows Xia Brookside to get the win due to the distraction and the retaliation attack. Very interested to see Xia Brookside take on her partner, Lei Ying Li, who is backstage having watched the back and forth. She congratulates her tag team partner. She says she's looking forward to the match. And despite being friends, despite being a tag team, she knows it's going to be a competitive bout that will start with them shaking hands and end with them shaking hands. I like it. I don't necessarily want to see either of these two turn heel or split quite yet. But I'm keeping my eye open for a potential heartbreak. But it will be a first good defense for Lei Ying Li tomorrow at Final Resolution. Then we go to just an absolute beatdown, a mugging, as we had Mike Santana take on NXT's Robert Stone. The match itself may have lasted 30 seconds. Robert Stone made his way out to the ring first. Mike Santana makes his entrance through the crowd, as he often does. As he's getting ready to get into the ring and get away from the crowd, he is attacked prematurely by Stone. Stone sending Santana's arm into the barricade, not into the barricade, into the ring post in the corner. As soon as he gets in the ring, Santana hits him with his spinning lariat. 1, 2, 3. That was all she wrote. Good way to start it. Robert Stone is obviously not an active, really competitor anymore. He's more of a manager. So this was a good way of giving TNA the first win. Santana just looking like, as he says, he's on demon time. And he wants everyone to know that he wants everyone in NXT to know Stone was only the first and he's coming for them all. Great way of handling this. Bravo. Really enjoyed it. As quick as it was. We then go to a backstage promo from the king of TNA, the self-proclaimed king of TNA, but the everybody proclaimed. That can't be right. TNA World Champion Frankie Kazarian. Frankie has no time for JDC, his challenger tomorrow at Final Resolution. He talks about how everyone seems to be on a retirement kick lately. Cena, AJ Styles, and now apparently JDC. He says he's going to end this opening act, mid-card act JDC and move on to bigger and better things. Don't you hate it when the heel is right? We then go into the ring as we have another first-class penthouse, AJ Francis and his homie Rich Swann. He was very quick with that. As they welcome the X Division champion, Leon Slater. As soon as Leon gets into the ring, there's, of course, hostility. Before he even gets into the ring, there's hostility between the two men. AJ taking as many shots as he can at Slater and Swann, saying how the only reason Slater is still champion is because Swann couldn't get the job done at Turning Point. Slater makes fun of his breath. The crowd really hyped into that. That was a lot of fun. They go back and forth, jabbering until finally things get physical. AJ tries to choke slam Slater through the table. Slater is able to counter it. So what does AJ Francis do? What any logical man would do. He throws the table at Slater. I thought that was a really fun bit. He takes his jacket off. Swann has it. He asks Swann to give it to him so he could choke Slater out. Swann is very hesitant. He's not looking to do it. Francis rips it from him. He starts choking him anyway. He tells Swann to hit him with the championship. Swann just hesitates. He can't do it. He won't do it. But Francis grabs him by the shirt, throws him into the turnbuckle, grabs the belt himself. Slater fights him off, ultimately, though, getting chokeslammed by Francis. AJ Francis stands tall with the X Division Championship as Swann looks on horrified and Slater is down. I obviously don't think AJ Francis is winning the X Division Championship, not as Leon Slater is about to go into the Iron Survivor match in NXT. TNA is going to want the X Division Champion looking good for that match. Obviously, this is leading towards a split between Francis and Swann, which I'm kind of on the fence about. I really like them as a pairing, especially because Casey Navarro is hurt. And I'm going to imagine when Navarro comes back, he's not going to be joining AJ Francis based off how they got rid of him. So Francis does well when he's bouncing off people, so it feels like this is going to hurt him more than help him. But I am happy for the build-up for Swan, who deserves good things, and I'm a big fan of. Former TNA World Champion, obviously deserves to be treated with respect. So hopefully good things are coming for him. We then go backstage to a promo from the system as they talk about the elephant in the room. They're going to be a man down now with JDC gone. They talk about who could potentially fill that slot as Brian Myers trains a lot of wrestlers. Maybe there's somebody there. Moose talks about having wrestled somebody at an indie show a while back that could be a good fit. All in all, Eddie Edwards says whoever it is has big shoes to fill in through JDC, and all that matters is that they believe and trust in the system. So I guess we're going to see somebody else take that spot, although really JDC came in late to begin with. So I don't know. We'll see how that goes. Speaking of JDC, we go elsewhere backstage as he cuts a very passionate promo, acknowledging that, most of his career he was a comedy wrestler, and he has a lot of respect for Frankie Kazarian. But Frankie crossed the line when he talked about his wife, JDC's wife. And he says he's going to show him just how serious he can be, how important this can be, and how he wants to leave the business better than he found it. And tomorrow he's going to win the TNA World Championship. It was a great promo. I'll give it to him. It was a great, great promo. We'll see how the match goes. We then go back to the ring as we had an absolute barn burner of an X Division match as Mustafa Ali took on Trey Miguel. I guess it's not really an X Division match. It's just these are two guys who are former X Division champions. This was as exciting as you'd imagine it would be. It was as impactful, no pun intended, as you'd imagine it would be. And these two guys just absolutely delivered in and out of the ring. Ultimately, can't really get into all of it because it was so fast-paced, so high-octane. Go check it out if you're going to watch a match from TNA this week. Trey Miguel going for a top rope Meteora, which he misses, hurting his knees, and then allowing Mustafa Ali to lock in a sharpshooter, forcing Trey Miguel to tap out. Mustafa Ali continuing, obviously, to tangle with the Rascals, as we're going to see Order 4 take on the Rascals tomorrow at Final Resolution. This was probably the way this needed to go. The leader of Order 4 taking out a member of the Rascals. Go watch it. Fun matchup. We then go into the main event as we have the Hardys teaming with Steve Macklin and Cedric Alexander to take on Lexus King, Stax, and Tyson DuPont and Tyreek Igwe. I don't want to be a hater, especially because the finish came with, some shenanigans. This is some of the best TNA has to offer. The Hardys are the TNA Tag Team Champions. Steve Macklin is the TNA International Champion. And Cedric Alexander, his resume speaks for itself. Again, I don't want to be a hater. Lexus King is, he's a more known commodity in TNA. Stax is another somewhat more known commodity. I said TNA in NXT. But these guys should not be taking these types of losses. TNA should not be taking these types of losses. And to see a team of the Hardy, 3 champions losing to NXT, for me, it's an upsetting look. I'm trying not to dwell on it. Again, focusing on the positive. And I know as we get closer to January 15th, we're going to see TNA start to really rack up the wins against NXT. But just didn't do it for me. The finish coming as Lexus King takes advantage of a distracted referee, hitting Cedric Alexander hitting Steve Macklin with his cane, similar to what we saw earlier in the night, and allowing Team NXT to get the win. Again, probably not something I would have done right after this announcement with the AMC deal. Maybe showcase how strong your TNA roster is. But I'm not getting a check, so it's not up to me to make these decisions. But guys, that was TNA Impact. It was a fun episode. Some good action, especially like I said, Mustafa Ali and Trey Miguel. Danny Luna versus Zaya Brookside was a very fun matchup. And yeah, the NXT TNA rivalry continues. I think I know where it's going, so I'm trying, like I said, I'm trying to be optimistic, just not really enjoying the journey to get there. But otherwise, let's all be happy. TNA getting this deal. Thursday Night Impact airing on AMC January 15th. Mark your calendars. We're going to do something fun that night. I'll think of something as we hype up for it. Maybe we'll do a giveaway. Maybe we'll come up with some fun stuff, but we'll see. Either way, guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. I know I started pretty late, so if you're here with me, thank you so much. You know the deal. If you're just checking us out for the first time, you stumbled upon us, thank you. Appreciate it. Join the party. Hit that subscribe button. Stick with us. We cover everything. WWE, AEW, TNA. Tomorrow we will be covering. We have 2 premium live events tomorrow. We have TNA Final Resolution and Ring of Honor Final Battle. We'll see how I figure that out, but I'll do my best to cover both. I will be at Saturday night's main event next Saturday for John Cena's last match, his retirement match. I will be an emotional wreck, but hopefully I will have content to share with you guys. And check out that content on our social media, as we are on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and TikTok. Guys, I'm James Giusanti. This is Thursday night. Oh, we got a comment there at the end. No, Maria, don't you be sorry. I'm sorry that I'm calling it here. We missed you last night for Dynamite. Thank you for showing up tonight. Go check out the video after it ends in a couple seconds. Hope you're doing well, and I hope you had a happy holiday. I am James Giusanti. This is the Mark It Down podcast, where we on Thursdays become the Gym Pack Zone. I'll catch you guys soon tomorrow. Have a great night. And I am going to, just go to bed. Have a good night.